Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be continuing into part 8 of What If Piccolo Was Never Born. If you haven't seen part 7, there is a title card where you can go check it out and see what happened in the last part. But today we'll be going into the Majin Buu saga. What has everyone been up to during the 7 years? How will this version of the Z Fighters deal with this saga's threat? Will they come out on top? All that will be answered in this part of What If Piccolo Was Never Born. Also, if y'all are interested, I own a Discord server for anyone who wants to join and talk more about Dragon Ball with me and other viewers. Maybe give us some of your own ideas of what ifs, and maybe in the future, I could do them. Check the link in the description down below. For today's question of the video comes from David MD8980. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. And their question is, what comes after Ultra Instinct? What comes after Divine Power? How much more can the stakes be raised? And honestly, I feel like with Dragon Ball Super, especially with forms like Ultra Instinct, Beast, Ultra Ego, I don't think there should be something higher above that. I think that should be the final form, which I mean I guess is like a, it's kind of weird to say because the show technically isn't over and they're still going. But if they're reaching godlike forms, like Ultra Ego being resemblance to God Destructions and Ultra Instinct being resemblance to the angels, I don't think there should be anything above that. I feel like that should be the final forms, at least for Goku and Vegeta. Maybe they can come up with something special for Goten and Trunks if they ever decide to focus on them. Maybe even Gohan after Beast. But honestly, I don't think, at least for Goku and Vegeta's sake, they cannot be raised anymore. They cannot get any more transformations that are higher than Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego. Thanks so much for your question. If you would like to be featured in my next video, just comment down below your question, whether it's about Dragon Ball, another anime, or personal. Maybe your comment will be picked for the next video. Without further ado, let's dive into part 8 of What If Piccolo Was Never Born. So last we left off, Gohan ended up defeating and stopping Perfect Cell, allowing for Earth to be in peace for the next few years. Let's get into what everyone has been up to since then. For the Sun family, Gohan, Goku, and Raditz all continued to train during the 7 years, as Gohan would not slack off this time around, always thinking about his future counterpart. He still does follow his dream of being a scholar, but continues to train at the same time, finding balance between the two, and still remaining to be the strongest on the planet. Goku and Chi-Chi would have another child, that being Goten, like normal. Goten would also be training with Goku and Gohan, growing pretty strong at his young age, even mastering Super Saiyan. With Raditz, he settled down with Launch after she gave up on chasing Tien, and they would end up getting together 2 years before the Buu Saga. To the Brief family, Yamcha actually settled down and slowed down with his training and spending more time with Bulma, as they had another child, a daughter named Bulla. Meanwhile, with Trunks, he stayed motivated in training, joining Gohan and his family with their training. Even though he was really behind and struggled to keep up, his rivalry with Gohan made him not stop in his training, and he became the strongest human on Earth. Krillin and 18 got married and even had a kid together. Kami continued being the guardian of Earth and continued with his training mainly on his own. Vegeta and Nappa continued to stay together for a bit until Nappa decided to go out on his own to live a more peaceful life on Earth, while Vegeta continued to stay isolated. He never really went to spend time with any of the other Z Fighters and only cared to show up if there is a threat or a fight to deal with. Let's say the whole school mini-saga with Gohan would be pretty similar, just with the inclusion of a grown-up Trunks. Hercule wouldn't be insanely popular, but I would say Videl still gets into fighting as normal. However, another difference is that Gohan and Trunks would both become Great Saiyaman 1 and 2 in this timeline, and when Gohan would have a romance with Videl, Trunks would have one with Erasa. Next would be the upcoming World Tournament, and everyone would decide that it would be fun to participate in the tournament, so most of the Z Fighters would sign up, excluding Kami, Vegeta, Nappa, and Yamcha. But they are around. With Trunks being born much earlier this time around, and being the same age as Gohan, he would not be in the kids division, as Goten would win that tournament very easily, as he doesn't really have any competition, especially since Bulla here is just a human and wouldn't be into training. The Supreme Kai and Kibito would attend as well, but Kami would spot them instantly, revealing their true identity to the shock of everyone, as then the Supreme Kai would tell them the reason for their arrival, and the potential threat of Babidi and Majin Buu. Things would play out the same with Babidi's minion taking Gohan's energy, but this time around, with him being much stronger than in canon, they had more than enough to spawn Buu. The Z Fighters would follow the minions and find Babidi's hideout, Seeing how they were getting close and needed a bit more time, he sent out the Buu and would see what else he could do. Sensing a lot of evil energy coming from Vegeta, he decided to put him under mind control, and honestly Vegeta would fall under the spell, allowing him to be taken control of to get a power boost. Once he fell under the control, he instantly went to attack both Nappa and Raditz. Seeing the situation at hand, Kami would say to help the other fighters from Vegeta. When the Z fighters arrived at Babidi's hideout, the Buu would use his Stone Spit attack, hitting Kibito, Yamcha, and Krillin, leaving only Goku, Gohan, and Trunks to enter inside the hideout. Honestly, the fights wouldn't be too hard, having Trunks take Vegeta's original matchup, which he would win easily. And Gohan never stopping in his training, he would beat the Buu this time around, but that wouldn't change much as Buu is still released from his egg. Fighting Buu would be a bit different. Having both Goku and Gohan around could make things a bit easier, but I don't think it would be enough to beat Majin Buu completely yet. With Trunks aiding them however he can with his Kaioken power up, they do begin to have the edge over Buu, until they are interrupted by Majin Vegeta, as he attacks Goku, sending him flying away, and with Goku out of the picture, Buu would begin to beat on Gohan and Trunks. Seeing his son in trouble, Yamcha would jump in to save him as Krillin joins in too, as together they fight Majin Buu to hold them off. Majin Buu was getting annoyed as he would shoot a full power Kamehameha wave at Yamcha, Krillin, and the injured Gohan and Trunks. Supreme Kai and Kibito being both near Gohan and Trunks, he used his Kai Kai technique to save them to teleport all four of them to the Supreme Kai planet, but sadly, Yamcha and Krillin are both killed. When Goku finally recovers, he senses the death of both Krillin and Yamcha. He also cannot sense Gohan's energy, as he assumes Gohan is dead too. He grows in rage once he sees Vegeta, blaming him for taking him away from the fight to help his friends. Remember, here they are never really friends nor rivals, as they never grew that bond in this timeline. Goku powers up, telling Vegeta he will show him a transformation that he achieved during the 7 years. It isn't perfected, but Goku does not want to waste any more time with Vegeta, knowing that Buu is on the loose. Goku begins powering up as he shakes the entire planet, as everyone can feel the immense power emitting from Goku's location. His yells can be heard all over. His hair grows longer, and his power explodes, as he shows his new transformation that he calls Super Saiyan 3. Majin Vegeta just smiles grimly, looking happy to see this competition. They begin to fight it out while Majin Buu would be left out to roam the planet unchecked, and with no one to stop him. And eventually Buu would kill off Babidi. With most of the Z fighters being dead or gone, the only ones left would be Kami, Raditz, Nappa, and Tien. Sensing everything that is going on, he rounds up the surviving members and relatives to bring them all to the safety of the lookout, as he would think about what they could do. The fusion dance would never be an option as Goku did not stay in the other world for the last 7 years, since he never died during the Cell Games. With their options very limited and not sure what they could do, this is when King Kai would step in, notifying the Z fighters on the lookout about the Supreme Kai, saving both Gohan and Trunks, as they are currently starting their training with the Supreme Kai, just asking them to hold off Buu until then. Kami can sense the fight going on between Goku and Vegeta, so afar he, Tien, Raditz, and Nappa, and even Goten heals up, and they would go off to hold off Majin Buu as long as they can. With Goku fighting Majin Vegeta, he wouldn't try to talk Vegeta out of fighting since he isn't on a time limit and would just fight through the entire fight until he beats Majin Vegeta, which I don't doubt that he would win with Super Saiyan 3. Goku would knock him out and would then begin heading over to the others as they are confronting Majin Buu. Honestly, I do see Tien and Nappa dying by being turned into candy before Goku could fully arrive there. And when he does arrive, Majin Buu is probably screwed. In the canon timeline, he could not beat Goku in his Super Saiyan 3 state, and Goku only stopped fighting him because he did not want to waste his 24-hour time limit on Earth. And with Goku not being dead or having a time limit, he could fight Buu without having to worry about that. Now the big question is if Goku would spare Buu in this timeline. Thinking about all he has been through in this entire what if, I do think he would end up killing Majin Buu completely, but still wanting him to be reincarnated like in canon. I do see him wanting to keep Buu alive, but with all he has done, the people he has killed, him already being upset from Vegeta about his son's death, Goku still doesn't know that Gohan is actually alive, and the fact that most of the other Z fighters wouldn't want Buu to live, Goku would just have to finish Buu off. After a good fight with Majin Buu, Goku would power up a full power Kamehameha wave, shooting it right at Buu and completely erasing him, not leaving a piece of Buu to regenerate. After the threat is dealt with, they would collect the Dragon Balls to wish back everyone who has died, and this is when Goku would learn that his son is not dead but just training. They would also wish to have Vegeta be freed from the spell under the Babidi, and this is when Vegeta decides to finally leave Earth, to go out on his own as he feels like an outsider to the entire Z team, not really having his own place on Earth. He would look at Nappa one last time as he was the only person he had some type of bond with, but even Nappa was able to find his own place on Earth. Gohan and Trunks continued their training even after the threat was dealt with, in case another threat like Buu were to show up. They would use the Z sword in the training, and I would see Gohan giving Trunks the sword, referring back to future Trunks since he had a sword too. Trunks would break the sword during the training, releasing the Elder Kai, and to thank them, he would do the ritual to unlock their hidden potential, and they would both get the mystic form. But eventually, Gohan would return back to Earth, while Trunks would stay a little longer as compared to Gohan, he is fully committed to his training, while Gohan wanted to balance his training and his true dream. Trunks stayed a little longer, wanted to grow as strong as possible, to catch up to Gohan as he learned the Kai Kai technique, but he too would be going back to Earth as he has been away for quite some time. After all that, everyone would begin to settle down and enjoy their time of peace while they can, as unknown to them, far away, a purple cat would soon be awakened for his search for the Super Saiyan God. And that's where we're going to leave it off for now. Tell me how y'all think about the 8th part and how I did with the continuation of this What If. How will these Z fighters face off against the future rival of Beerus when he wakes up? With Vegeta leaving the group, where will he end up and will we ever see him again? Who will become the Super Saiyan God in the Battle of Gods arc? What could have happened differently? Leave your thoughts down in the comments down below. I would love to hear them. If y'all are interested and enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be alerted whenever I post another part. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I would see y'all in the next part. See ya.